Hello and welcome back to 4FS Gaming. Now I'm overseas at the moment. I'm making this video from Ecuador, so I'm very far away and I don't have my normal setup, so I apologize if the sound quality is a little bit off with my voice. Unfortunately, I can't talk about the new quick play mode as I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but rather in this video we are going to have a look at the Sharpshooter loadout in Hunt Showdown, otherwise known as Sparks Uppercut. We'll talk about the different variations of this build, a few tactics, and some traits that are desired when rolling with these kinds of weapons. Now this is a build that is high risk, but also very high reward. You will have less ammo and less chances if you stuff it up, but with good positioning and aim you can also find great success. Let's begin by looking at the most basic variant of this kind of build. For the primary weapon, we'll use the Sparks LRR. Secondary weapon, the Caldwell Conversion Uppercut. Take a knife, maybe some throwing knives, and a med pack for your tools, a vitality shot, and then any throwables of your preference. I'm quite partial to frag and hellfire bombs at the moment. The only trait you need to make this build strong at all ranges is fanning, otherwise you will need to keep your distance. The Sparks LRR is considered by many to be one of the best PvP weapons in the game. It has the highest damage of any rifle save the nitro, and it can outrange even that weapon. The downside, of course, is that it needs to reload after each individual shot. The Sparks damage is so high that at close range it will deal 149 points of damage, and our hunters only have 150 points of health. This means that if they have taken damage from any source, if they've been burned at all, lost a health bar, you can one-tap them with the Sparks just by hitting the body, which allows for absolute domination once you know a player has been downed once already, and some very easy kills and just shots that you don't think will kill, and all of a sudden your enemy is dead, because they had taken a little bit of damage previously. If that first shot doesn't kill, then it is in your best interest to switch to your uppercut, and unless you are very far away, one more hit will do the trick and finish them off. This is what we call the 1-2 combo, and it's a staple of the Sparks Uppercut build. And it's only going to get stronger when the 4.0 patch comes in and they increase the speed at which weapons can swap. Of course, all of these tactics are just handy extras because you really should be aiming for the head. With a very fast bullet travel time and some nice sights, the Sparks LRR is a headshot machine. Just make sure you have cover nearby in case you miss. Now as for the uppercut, it is a powerful weapon in its own right, capable of finishing most targets in 2 or 3 hits at the most. At range, a high sway value can make it a bit clunky, but the damage remains high compared to the other pistols. Fanning is where you can turn the uppercut into a close range killing machine, giving it a very low time to kill. Remember that for this to work you have to be very close, and may want to consider crouching to decrease your crosshair spread. Be careful with your ammo when fanning the uppercut. You only have 6 shots and the reload is slow, so you need to make each shot count. So what about some further variations for this build? If you want to go cheaper, you could always lose the uppercut and take a chain pistol with fanning or a Nagant officer if you don't yet have fanning on that hunter. This provides you with some reliable close range firepower, and it also allows you to continue that 1-2 combo by switching weapons, albeit with a much lower effective range on that second shot. The other downside is that you will only have 10 shots in reserve for your rifle because you are not doubling up on ammo types. Uppercuts are expensive though, so it will work if you are strapped for cash. Now if you want to go even more expensive, the Spark Sniper adds a scope with very high magnification. Now this is not exactly a straight up upgrade, as while it does make picking off distant targets much easier, it reduces your ability to wield the weapon effectively up close, as it can be hard to acquire close targets with such a high level of zoom. With practice you can overcome this drawback, and the ease with which you can use it to target distant enemies is really great. Because you are using a rifle with a scope, you can also take the steady aim trait to reduce sway, making those long shots that little bit easier. Some players find the risk of using a single shot weapon too high, and they prefer something that is a bit more forgiving. For some extra cash you can take the Mosin Nagant, which allows you to fire off 5 shots before having to reload, at the cost of a little bit of damage. The Mosin is a more versatile weapon, but it doesn't hit as hard and is much more expensive than the Sparks rifle. However, it retains that fast bullet travel speed, low sway, and really nice iron sights that allow you to hit your shots like a sharpshooter. With the Mosin, you will rarely need the 1-2 combo because you can just take a second shot from your primary weapon. If you choose to run the Mosin Nagant, The bullet grubber trait comes highly recommended to prevent you from running low on ammo, and you may also want to take the iron sharpshooter trait to better track targets between your shots. Now the problem for me is the Mosin Nagant doesn't always feel like a true sniper rifle, and many players end up using it like a low rate of fire but high damage Winfield. If you really want to feel like a marksman, go for the Mosin Nagant sniper. With this weapon, you can land multiple shots quite quickly from extreme range, and although each individual shot won't be as devastating as a Sparks, you can easily land more of them, and headshots are still lethal out to 300 meters of course. When rolling with this weapon, I still recommend the Uppercut with fan-in for both extra ammo and some close range firepower. In addition, you probably want bullet grubber, sniper scopesmith, and steady aim. As you use more advanced weaponry, the number of traits needed to maximize their effectiveness increases as well. So often I will start a hunter with Sparks and Uppercut, and then begin to swap them out for more expensive primary weapons as he accumulates the trait points to make the most of those new weapons. There are of course some other traits that should always be considered for any build, such as Beastface, Pack Mule, and Pitcher, which are always pretty strong no matter what you're trying to do. So the builds described here I find extremely rewarding to play, and landing headshots should be the aim of the game, but there are lots of ways to make that high damage to the body count as well. The Sparks Uppercut combo seems to be pretty prolific on the Oceania servers at the moment, and most players recognise and respect its strength. So go out there, give it a try, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ascendance from 4FS Gaming.